excited to start my new podcast and really excited about my guests. Hopefully another one will show up too. And we are going to talk a lot about fitness today, that all or nothing mentality that a lot of us take on with the fitness industry and also competing. So first of all, I want to introduce to you my guest is Kelsie Burgin, my BFF. God, this list is going to be long. BFF, sparkle coach, because she helps me with my hair, my makeup, my suit choice, all of that stuff, along with just sending little sparkles everywhere.
Motivator.
Yeah, all of it. And then also she is an IFBB professional bikini pro, so very proud of her. I was actually there when she won her pro card. Yeah. You were screaming. Not just one pro card. What else? Overall at USA's. Yeah. So really excited to have her here. She is a professional athlete and has been an athlete for how long? Since
my whole life, really. Yeah.
So just to talk about being an athlete, the health and fitness and wellness world and where it's going, and this all or nothing mentality that a lot of people take, not just in the competitor world, but also just on a fitness journey or getting healthy journey.
Yeah, even being an athlete all my life, whether it was gymnastics or cheerleading or basketball or whatever, it's easy to have that all or nothing mentality, and through life and ups and downs and just growing and maturing, you realize it doesn't have to be that way.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
But it's so easy to.
It can be. It really can be. I mean, just like the diets, the fad diets, you've got the keto, you've got the high protein, you've got the no protein. I mean, everything.
There's a new one called Noon or something. I don't even.
Or the fasting stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Intermittent fasting.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, the first thing is I want to talk about how we met.
Posing class. Back in 2012, I first started competing, but you've been competing for years before that. We went to a posing class together, and I had heard about Kelly from my posing coach, which we had the same posing coach, and I had heard about her, and he said, "Oh, she's so good, and she should win, and this and that," and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I'm going to meet this Kelly lady, and she's going to be so good. And I was freaking out. And I met her in posing class. I was like, oh, there she is. And she walked across to do her posing. And I was like, it was like she walks on this cloud. I don't know how you do it. I still can't walk like you. But, man, I just saw her, and I was so intimidated. But we started talking and became instant friends, like instantly. And we competed together. Yeah. Did you compete at the Ronnie Coleman with me?
No, I competed the year before. I was there and watched you win the overall.
Yeah. So I did the Ronnie Coleman a few weeks later in March. Was it March of 2012? We good?
Yep, we're good. March of 2012.
In March of 2012. And then we both went on 3 months later to, whatever, July.
To USA's.
And USA's in July in Vegas, and that was the first time we competed together. But luckily, we were in different classes, height classes. Because I was like,
no, this woman went to win first place
at my first show.
At her first national show.
National qualifier, USA's in July. Didn't know. I knew a little bit more of what I was doing, but I didn't know what I was doing. I knew I wanted this pro card thing. I knew a little bit, but not like I should have for being where I was. And this is the biggest national level competition that you can do that year. Yeah. And I come in and win my class, turn pro, and then I go and win the overall. And her and our other best friend, Mindy, which we were all doing posing class together, they were both backstage screaming whenever I got off stage carrying these huge trophies. And I was like, what just happened? I was like, what? Did I win? Like, am I a pro? Yeah, that was so much fun. So we've been friends, I mean, ever since.
Yeah. Then the morph of my hair through all, but that's going to be fun to look at later.
Yeah.
So winning your pro card, how did it feel at that moment?
and I don't know, indescribable.
Yeah.
Just so, I get emotional because that's one of my biggest accomplishments in being an athlete is winning that pro card at my second show even. That's unheard of, and just, I don't know, as a professional athlete, I was like, me? Little old me from Crandall, Texas? Like, really? I actually won my pro card. I was in between housing, and I was living, you'll not believe this, I was living in a fifth wheel trailer when I won my pro card.
I didn't know that.
Yes, I was living in a fifth wheel trailer for like $300 a month. Yeah, I had to mow my own lawn and everything with a push mower.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was awful. And so had to change out like my own propane just to make my eggs and everything. Was working out at an Anytime Fitness in Kaufman, Texas. No one understood what I was doing, why I was doing it, where I was going, whatever. Yeah, so I was in this little bitty fifth wheel trailer. That's where I lived whenever I won my pro card.
That's a cute little tidbit. So I know your mom was there, and you're and there was a really kind of cool piece of advice that one of the judges gave you.
We after the show, we were walking back to my hotel, and we saw one of the head judges there in the lobby, and he came up to congratulate me and all this stuff, and I said, "Oh, thank you so much." And my mom chimed in and she said, "If there's one piece of advice that you could give her, what would that be?" And he said, "To remember it's just a hobby."
Yeah.
Well, I just won the world, so I was like, hobby, this is my life now.
This is it. And that's the issue that I ran into too, was you just focus so much.
You don't think it's a hobby.
You don't
like
think
when you're in it.
No. You think, okay, this is it. I want to, this is how I'm going to make my money. This is how I'm going to make it out in this world. This is the only way people see me, and this is how I'm moving forward.
Because from that moment on, I was in magazines, and I had photo shoots, and I had to stay an extra day in Vegas for another photo shoot at Gold's Gym, and just this and that. And then I went to my pro debut a few months later in Houston, Texas, got top 10 next to Olympians, and I was like, hobby. This is my life. And I have always said, they're like, how people ask me all the time, how do you know that you wanted to do bodybuilding? I was like, I didn't until I won at my first I won my pro card at my second show. I've always said bodybuilding kind of chose me. I fit into it so well. Like bodybuilding chose me because I just moved up so fast.
You moved up fast, which was great, but what are some of the things that you feel like you missed moving up so fast?
Experience, for sure, because going from my first show at the Ronnie Coleman in March of 2012, I had dieted for 5 weeks, which is unheard of as well. But I've always been an athlete. I know how to eat and everything. But I went from having a burger almost every day and working out and whatever I wanted to do to a restricted diet for the next 5 weeks. And I actually wasn't supposed to do the Ronnie Coleman. I was supposed to do the shredder in, I think, April. And both of my coaches talked behind my back, and they were like, she's ready. She needs to go to the Ronnie Coleman next weekend. And I was like, next weekend? What are you talking about? No, I can't do that. That's too soon. And they put me into that show, and
here we are.
Yeah. So it was crazy because from that show, it was close between me and the Class A winner, and my coach was like, "You've got to go out there and strut your stuff. This girl's experienced. She knows what she's doing." And I walked out there with my hands on my hips.
I remember.
I strutted my stuff. I was like, this short little girl's not going to beat me. I just get so competitive. But going from that show, and then I had to move up to the biggest national level show, and then move up to a pro show, I missed out on all the experience that a lot of the other pros that have been competing for several years had up on me, that I was like, this is my first show. This is only my third show ever. I didn't have that experience, and I know that hurt me, especially in my posing.
Yeah. So we talk about getting so focused and getting so kind of like blinders in competing, but also in the world of health and fitness. We call it the black hole.
Call it that black tunnel.
Yeah, that tunnel.
It's like you don't see anything.
What does it feel like to be in that black tunnel?
I'm gonna get emotional. That black tunnel for me, I was so focused on winning, moving up, going to Olympia, doing this photo shoot, doing everything, because that was my whole life, that looking back now on how I felt numb. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
No.
But I didn't feel because I was so focused. It can be a scary thing.
It's very scary, especially when you're a wife and a mom and you start feeling that way. It happened.
Yeah.
It happens to a lot of us.
Yeah.
There's a lot of relationships and marriages are ruined because of it.
Yeah.
And I had to put my heels up for a while because of it. Because that's all I could focus on was that. And I needed to focus on other things.
And it is just a hobby.
Yeah,
like
it is.
It's just a hobby. But when you're in that black tunnel, you don't see anything or anyone in that.
No. So what's different now versus last year? Because last year you competed in 3 shows last year, and we were there. We were in San Antonio, and I saw a different Kelsie last year versus the years before.
So from 2012 to 2015, 16, I was in that black hole. I was going up, I was going to Olympia, all this stuff. I took 2 years off. Just life happens, and bodybuilding will always be there.
Yeah.
So I took 2 years off, came back October 6th. The San Antonio Pro was my first show back in 2 years exactly, because I had done a show in October 2 years before that. So coming back, it was different for me. I had a different coach. My physique was totally different color suit, different hair, different mentality, because whereas before my vision was so different, and I can't even tell you like my why back then, but you have to find a different why. You have to know why you're doing this. And my why last year was to prove to myself I can do it on my own. And I did. I mean, yes, I have a coach. Like, you have a whole team. Like, people think that bodybuilding is so self-absorbed and it's just a single man sport. Yeah, it's that single man on stage, but it takes a whole team behind you to get you ready.
Yeah.
Like, you have all of us to support you. You have your coach, you have your posing, you have your suit, and just everything behind you.
I mean, my own son came downstairs this morning. How you feeling, Mom? You ready? I mean, that's
your support.
That's my support team.
So my support was different. I couldn't have done it without definitely my 2 best friends, you and Danny. I could not. Just my mentality of being healthier, knowing I don't have to, because bodybuilding can be, and fitness in general, whether you're dieting for a vacation or you're dieting for a bodybuilding competition, it can be as healthy or as unhealthy as you make it.
Oh, yeah.
And so I knew that I wanted this to be a very healthy transition and a very healthy mindset into competing again, and I knew that I wanted to prove to myself I can do it.
Yep.
So that's, I mean, it may sound prideful too, but I do take pride in knowing I did it on my own. I don't need anyone else to be there for me. Like, I can do it.
I mean, I saw just a different type of sass, a different type of focus, a different type of, I mean, and we had a blast driving down there. That was just,
we had a girls trip going to my show last year. So much fun.
So much fun. So we talk about stage versus real life, and you just talked about, and I really want to focus on, the being healthy, because there's a lot of folks that get on a fitness regime and it's excuse my language, balls to the walls. It's, 6 days a week. I've got to go to the gym. I've got to work out every day. I've got to, I can't go out to dinner with my friends anymore. And, I'm really picky about where I can eat because they only have this, and this because I'm on the keto.
Bringing your container of Tupperware food in your purse.
Right.
Been there, done that. We all have.
But that's not real life.
It's not. And that's what I wanted to do last year coming back to my show is I ate out.
Yeah.
I mean, I would make sure that, like, if I didn't trust a restaurant's chicken or steak or whatever, I would bring my own steak in my purse that I personally cooked with my Pam spray, my seasonings that I know are allowed on my prep. But I would go have a salad and tell them, I want this, this, and this only, or I would bring my own dressing or something, but I'm still out with my friends, enjoying my family, going to birthday parties. Yeah, you don't have cake, but it's not the end of the world.
No, cake.
Like, you can have a birthday party with no cake. Like, you can go out with your friends and not have a drink. It's just your priorities, but you can still live your life, is my point, that you can go out on prep. You can enjoy your life and still lose weight, still have results.
So many people cut themselves off.
Just completely shelter yourself. Yes, just don't come out of your home or the gym. Been there, done that.
And then you lose
friendships.
Yeah, you lose friendships, and you lose that support team that you need sometimes. Because, I mean, even though I did the same thing, I still went out to dinner, still dated my husband. That was the big point of this whole show, was to make sure that I still had a life, because my son is, in football. We were just in an orchestra concert. He's in playoffs now with football. I mean, he's a busy kid, and I want to be able to be there for him. Or when he calls, "Mom, I forgot my, cleats," or be able to go and do that and not have to.
And be mentally sound to know, okay, I have to go take his football cleats now, but this is the time I'm supposed to go to the gym. I'm not going to freak out, because you know what? My son needs me, and I can always go to the gym after work.
Yeah, that's it.
It may be at 8 or 9 o'clock, but I know I'm going to get it in.
Yeah.
So that's the difference, and I tell a lot of newbies in fitness in general, but especially with bodybuilding, because that's just my sport and where I come from, that you need to have a self-check before you even start prep. Before you even start hiring a coach or anything, is you need to be mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically healthy.
Yeah.
And it's really important, the mental aspect, because fitness and dieting is very mental. You can have the best physique, or you can do whatever with your physique and have all of these transformations and stuff, but if you're not mentally healthy and in a good place, you're not going to go anywhere. Your body's going to fight you. It's not going to be a good experience.
Yeah.
No matter if you're just trying to lose 10 pounds for a vacation or a wedding or for a competition. It's all the same.
Right. And that whole part, I see brides all the time getting ready for a wedding, and they're supposed to be enjoying this moment, and they're miserable because they're starving themselves to fit into a dress or look a certain way. You're supposed to be enjoying this moment. You're marrying your best friend. You're supposed to be marrying your best friend. Hopefully. So the other fun thing that I love to talk about competing is not just the mental focus, but the other parts of competing in health and fitness. I have found an amazing group of folks at Anytime Fitness in Denton. They are my morning family. They are my morning cup of joe.
And if you miss a day, they're calling you.
Yeah, they're calling you. You okay? Yeah, you all right? Yeah. So that in itself, find yourself a gym that you love, that you enjoy, that you like the people that they're going to hold you accountable, that are worried about you and want to make sure that you're there to be successful. Even if you're dragging, they're like, let's go. But it's the same thing in competing.
I've made so many friends. A lot of my close friends are from competing. I mean, take you and Danny, for instance. My best friends I met you at posing class, met Danny on the treadmill at the gym. And we just started talking.
That was it.
The treadmill. And that was it. We're best friends. And then like a lot of my friends, like Skylar Lanier last year, we met at the seminar on Friday night at the Athletes Check-In, and we were about to go. We were in the same group for tanning, and she didn't have a robe. And I was like, oh, you know what? I brought 2. You can just borrow one for the weekend. We're going to see each other in a month at the next show. Just give it back to me then. No big deal. Best friends. Like, and we still talk, and she's doing great. That was her pro debut, actually.
Yeah.
So, and for me to be a seasoned person coming back and to be able to help a nervous, brand new pro, I mean, why not? Like, that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
Just your fitness journey in general should be fun.
Yeah. It should, because you're trying to get healthy and feel better.
Yeah,
so
and
it should
you
be fun.
do feel better.
Yeah, you do. I can tell. So what are some of your most favorite moments on stage?
On stage, my most favorite moment is for one, winning my pro card. Just getting that your name called out for like in the center of the stage, and this huge trophy that's like 3 feet tall and all this stuff. That was one of my most favorite moments. And going to Olympia. That's like the Super Bowl of bodybuilding. And to be qualified to go to Olympia to compete, it's the top, I believe, like 30 girls in the whole world. That's very prestigious. I hold that near and dear to my heart. But the most favorite part of Olympia weekend is there's this big O on stage, like the stage, and there's this big O, and we walk out of the O.
Oh yeah.
And the red curtains come back. We are standing there, and if you look at the big screen, we're huge on the jumbotron.
Yeah.
But then we're like, if you look at the stage, we're this little bitty person on stage in this huge auditorium, and just to walk out and see all these lights, all these people and cameras and everything. And then that first step, the floor is carpet, but it's like a trampoline or like a
for the
gymnastics.
fitness competitors.
Yes, it's like a gymnastics carpet, and it's kind of bouncy. So I mean, you're at the most prestigious stage you can be on. It doesn't, like, you've already won. It doesn't matter what you place.
Right.
Heck, I got off stage and I was like, I didn't get last. I didn't care.
That was so cool.
Yeah. But just walking out, you get that bounce, which you have sass whenever you're walking anyway, and you just get extra sass. I'm like, oh, just that feeling is so much fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun to see you there. It was fun to see you pose right in front of the big O, because I knew that was a huge goal of yours. So advice, and we talked a little bit about when we're prepping for our first podcast. If you could go back in time and give yourself and others, like those new pros and yourself, advice, what would be the one piece of advice you'd give them?
Stop making me cry.
Sorry, honey. You got your eyes on. You got makeup on.
I got my makeup on. I can't cry my makeup off. One piece of advice, and thinking of this advice, I think of who I was as a young pro. Just remember, no matter your journey, no matter your placement, it's not the end of the world. It's not like you think it is, but it's not the end of the world.
And I think the biggest thing for me was the support that I got from my family and friends. I felt like I was disappointing them if I didn't win. I felt like I was letting them down because of everything that they had given up. And they were proud of me regardless. It wasn't the end of the world for me. They knew how hard I worked. They knew how bad I wanted this. Everybody wants to walk in first place. Who doesn't, right? But I think now that you and I have this perspective of there's so much more.
Healthy mentality.
That
it's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world. And now you get to have some fun with it.
And see, for me, competing when, I mean, yes, I have a family and I have my support system and everything, but I guess since I come from a different background on my relationships, that wasn't what I was worried about.
Right.
I was worried about, being a pro athlete. You're in the spotlight. You're, on social media, and you're in the magazines, and you're whatever.
There's an expectation.
There is an expectation. And, like, especially moving up so fast like I did and being in top 5 at a lot of my shows, they expect you. Like, I remember I was tired one year and my body was not responding very well. And it was like one of my last shows of the year. I had done, I think, 6 shows by then. And my body was exhausted. I was exhausted. I got my critique from the head judge backstage, and he goes, "You know what? I saw you on the list, and I expected you to be in the top 5 just by seeing your name." Because I had been in the top 5 several times before that, especially in front of this one judge. And he said, "When I saw you on stage, you weren't as tight as you needed to be. You weren't as tight as I've seen you before. That crushed me." Because he had that expectation of me.
Yep.
A head judge had that expectation of me. Social media, just everything you have expectations, and I had an expectation of myself too.
Yep.
Of if I'm not in that first call or if I'm not top 5, dang, what did I do wrong? I shouldn't have had, an extra little sip of whatever.
How do you manage those expectations now versus back then?
It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, there you go. Is that your new mantra? It's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world. I mean,
we can't make everybody happy.
Yeah, and that's just like if you're trying to get ready for anything and you slip up, you have a burger, you have a French fry. Oh my gosh.
Right.
You know what? Live your life.
Yep.
Get back on track tomorrow.
Yep.
Don't go and binge eat the rest of the night just because you had a French fry.
Right. It's the guilt.
Yeah, that guilt is crazy. But just get back on it. It's not the end of the world. Like that one meal, that one French fry, that one sip of Coke is not going to kill you.
Right.
But being in that black tunnel, it will.
Yeah. It'll devastate you.
Mm-hmm. But you have to have your discipline and your willpower and your why in front of you before you have that French fry.
Which is going back to check yourself before you decide to go through any kind of health or fitness thing, journey, mentally, spiritually, physically. Go get yourself checked by a doctor. Make sure all that. Make sure all that's straight before you get on to this journey.
Yeah, it really makes me so mad because competing and people that have competed for a long period of time and have gone like headstrong into it, they come out and they gain 40 pounds in 2 weeks. And I'm like, what did you do? I mean, don't get me wrong, I've been there where I was in Vegas after a show and I gained 14 pounds because I was there for like 5 days.
We had lots of fun.
Show. Oh, I gained 14 pounds and I hated myself after that. It was awful, but I did it. But people go headstrong down that black tunnel, whatever, on a keto diet, on a competition diet, whatever it is, and then they get burnt out, they get exhausted, and they go and gain 40 pounds, and then they blame that coach or that competition or
that
competing
diet
in general, that diet, for their hormones being messed up or their adrenal glands being jacked up, or whatever their problems are, they blame it on that coach or that competition or that diet. No, you should have been healthy in the beginning, and you should be mentally and physically strong enough to have a reverse diet. And if you don't, your coach does. And if your coach doesn't, find a new coach.
Right.
Because you need to talk about that with your coach. No matter if it's a health and wellness or a competition, whatever, you need to know, okay, this is where I want to go, how many pounds I want to lose, whatever my goal is. But then afterwards too, you can't just drop off and eat whatever you want after that. You have to reverse out of that. And I did that last year pretty well. And look, I'm what, 10 pounds over stage weight. It. And I mean, I have my abs, I drink my wine.
By the way, she always has abs, so don't even, it doesn't matter.
I mean,
but
I thank my daddy for that part.
It's true. Adam sent me my update for the rest of the next couple of days, and he already also sent me my reverse diet plan.
It's so,
and the
it's
plan
so crucial
to make sure that we start improving. We're already talking about improving. What are we gonna do? What's the next step? How am I gonna look? What
and whether you
changing
compete or not.
Whether or not,
because you don't have another show booked. So whether you compete or not, I mean, think of it. That's your body. You need to stay healthy. Yep. That's his name. You are wearing his brand. Yep. I mean, physically, and physically,
right?
With your physique and your clothes, like that's his brand. So he needs to make sure that you're taken care of. Yep. Which is a good coach.
Yes.
Like I will just say, like good coaches will make sure that you're taken care of on or off the stage. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and that's so important to him is the health of his athletes. So very important. That's why I chose them.
He had you get your blood checked before, and make sure that was good. And then y'all had just a good off-season meal plan just to make sure you're mentally ready to be on a diet and not cheat and all that stuff. He wanted to make sure your body was physically ready. Yeah, I mean, you were in a great place whenever you started, and I mean, seeing you do this prep so easy and happy and not starving, eating 2 ounces of chicken, like it's so nice to see it, and that's the correct way to do it. It's so nice, and I want people to know there is a right and wrong way of doing it, a healthy and unhealthy way of doing it. You just have to be smart about it.
And there's no magic pill, and you can't. And this is not a sprint. This is a marathon.
It's your life.
It is your life. It is your life.
And you only get one body.
Right. So, you love life again, obviously.
I do.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like after so many years of living life and competing and being in fitness as an athlete my whole life, I am finally happy.
Good.
I am living my life. I can go to the gym. I cannot go to the gym and not freak out if I don't go to the gym that day. I can have wine most nights of the week if I want.
But you've been also doing a little, learning how to work out at home and doing some home workouts and figuring that stuff out.
Yeah, we get motivated, we get unmotivated, all this stuff. I honestly haven't wanted to go to the gym in probably a good month. I haven't been to the gym, which I'm like, my gym family, I know they're going to give me crap whenever I walk back in.
They're like,
yeah, especially because they know how hardcore I am. But, I'm fine. Like, I don't want to go to the gym, which is super weird for me to say. But I enjoy doing my runs. And I'm like, you know what? I have weights here. If I don't have time, I need to get to work. I'll just do an at-home workout. I'll even video it. It's something different for my followers to see. And just to know, like, I'm a normal person too. Yes, I have certain titles or whatever, but I'm a normal person. I don't want to go to the gym sometimes. I don't want to eat salad every day. I may want to have donuts for breakfast whenever we leave.
Because there's a Buc-ee's down the road from my house.
Oh my gosh, Buc-ee's.
So, and that's something that's really good to kind of wrap this all up is I always tell people all the time, you don't have to have a gym membership to be healthy or to be able to work out. So you enjoy running, which I either run away from danger or I run towards food, but I don't run.
I don't enjoy running. I'm a bodybuilder. Come on now, you don't like to run. But I love the way my legs look. And for me, being happy and in my body now with haven't not competed in a year now, or almost a year now, being happy in your body is so important, whether you're competing or you're not. And that was something that it took a long time for me to learn is I can be happy without being competition lean.
Yeah.
With a lot of competitors or people that have competed even just once, that's hard mentally. That body dysmorphia of if I don't weigh 125, if I don't weigh this amount of number or look this way or have abs showing or lines in my legs or whatever, you know what, I'm not fat. I'm not ugly because of that. So for me to be happy in my body, doing whatever kind of workout I want to do, that's important.
Yeah, that is.
And that's really, I don't know, that's my life balance of what makes me happy now.
Which is good.
Yeah.
So what are you doing now? I know you first of all, guys, this new hair of mine, So Kelsie is, I call her the queen of sparkle, but she just moved her salon from Rockwall.
Yes, I have been a hairstylist in Rockwall for, I think, 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's all I've ever done. So I just made the big leap of faith to move my career from Rockwall to Dallas, which is only about 30 minutes away. But when your whole clientele lives in Rockwall, that's a big move to come to the big city, to Dallas. So I just moved my salon to Dallas in August. God is so good. I am booming. So happy, so thankful and blessed that it was the right move for me, right time. I am growing in my hair extension clientele, which is what I want to specialize in. Hence Kelly's beautiful long locks.
I always tell her she's like a drug dealer. She just gives you the long locks, and then you can't go without. I mean, they're addicting.
They are so addicting.
Because they're beautiful.
Yes, I was the same way. I just I've had my extensions out for 2 or 3 months, and I was like, no.
She was twitching.
I was, especially doing Kelly's hair. I'm like, man, I want my extensions back in. So I mean, I don't need extensions. My hair is long and thick anyway, but I just love it.
Yeah.
It is addicting. Yeah. So plus it's my brand. I am my brand. And so I am not competing right now. I'm worried about how I'm going to feel watching you compete. I know I'm going to cry. I'm probably going to be sweating and crying more than you will. But not for me so much, but just for you. Yeah. And so I'm not competing right now because I'm focusing on my business. I'm growing my business, which is Dallas Dream Girl Salon in Dallas, Texas. And just focusing on that. And
which is big and important.
It is.
And you're so dang good at what you do. So I'm so excited. And I'm so excited for the journey for you ahead, watching you grow. You know, it's so much fun to watch both you and I kind of. We had the same journey. It was different stories, but we had the same journey. We had the tunnel. We had the, oh crap, life happened. Yeah. And then now we have finally found balance and enjoying and getting the joy back of fitness and being healthy and
life in general. And you can do both at the same time.
You can. Even when life got crazy for me a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. It was.
You were oddly calm.
Well, I know. I was like get laid off.
Good.
And some family issues, and then it was an interesting.
All within like a month of competing.
Yep, all within a month.
And she was so calm because she was mentally
healthy
beforehand.
Mentally and physically healthy.
It's so nice to see that.
And Adam was shocked on how much water I didn't gain. He was like, usually with this much stress, my athletes gain so much more water.
Yeah. And then I remember once you got good sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, the weight just like you just tightened up in your body.
Yeah. Which is sleep is important during a health regime.
Yeah, and listening to your body. Yeah. Like, I've been traveling, this is my 3rd week in a row traveling, and I've just been so exhausted. I haven't worked out but like once a week the last 2 weeks, and I'm okay with it. I'm fine. It's not the end of the world.
Right? There it is.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
So I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and thank you, Kelsie, for being my very first podcast guest.
Very honored.
This will be we'll be doing podcasts twice a month, and it will be with folks that have inspired me in my own life, that have truly helped create an amazing inspirational journey for me, and have been inspirational in my life. So there's going to be quite a few guests, and I'm inviting them into my own home. So this studio is in my home. We're going to have some coffee, and we're going to have some real, true, honest conversations on how we ended up becoming our very own heroes and rescuing ourselves.
I can't wait for your book.
Yeah, and I'm so excited. So that's April 2020, and thank you so much, and y'all be sweet.
Bye.